Cheers, Lisa!
Cheers.
Ting!
That's a little glass.
It's a tiny one. I've got my shot glass from the 70s. Look, there we go. Isn't that nice? With all designs on it. Anchors and pigs and spiders and elephants for some reason.
It's a weird thing.
What have you got?
I got a bee glass that we got
Show the bee glass.
off the internet. It's got bees
You've
on
got-
it.
Yeah, so your liquid is faintly purple.
Faintly purple.
It
It's
tastes of...
taste of Parma violets. It's violet gin and tonic.
Whereas I've just got
You've
famous grouse.
Famous grouse.
So yes.
Other whiskies are available.
Mm.
I'll put that down.
But we're on a
Want a bit of
we're on a drunken angle, aren't we?
Okay, yes.
Um,
In homage.
Because today we're going to talk about festive Fanny, aren't we?
We are.
Because our friend
Andy Davison.
Andy Davison does a thing on Twitter,
For the whole of December.
which is festive Fanny,
Mm-hmm.
which is all to do with Fanny Cradock recipes.
Yes.
And the one for today, or 10 hours ago, was dinettes, tiny open sandwiches of pure hate. And if I rotate them, there's the dinettes. And he does this every year.
Yes. He's got loads of different Fanny Cradock cookbooks and he picks the most evil looking pictures out of all of them.
And it's inspired you to look at some Fanny.
Yes, we've been watching some Fanny Cradock Christmas editions.
Because these are about, what, 10-15 minutes from
Yes.
1975.
Yes.
And they're on, what, iPlayer?
They're on iPlayer, yeah.
At the moment.
At the moment.
Yeah.
They'll be on probably till the end of December.
So, you've watched some sort of before today,
Yeah,
haven't
well,
you?
I basically watched the same one again, and I
Alright.
watched a cheese and wine one, which was from 1970, which is in black and white,
Alright.
in which she spent the first 5 minutes of it talking about her kitchen, because it
Okay.
was filmed in the kitchen of her house. We should explain who Fanny Cradock is, because there may be some people out there who don't know.
Maybe.
But basically, in the sort of from the late, sort of, well, I think late 40s, early 50s up to the 1970s, she was a cook, and she obviously she was on TV. But she and her husband Johnny,
Mm-hmm.
well, I say husband, they weren't actually married.
Were they not?
No,
Okay.
no. She was She was a bigamist. She
So
was
why
married to more than one person.
Why was she called Cradock then?
Because she took his surname to give the impression they were married,
Oh,
and it was
okay.
better for the stage show. But they used to do shows at the Albert Hall, so they'd be on where the the orchestras go. Bands go
The
there as
bands.
well. Where the orchestras go in the Albert Hall.
We've been there.
We have. They'd be on a sort of stage, and she'd cook stuff, and she'd get people up from the audience to try it out. And she'd do this in full ball gown. If you look it up on YouTube, there are some clips of it on YouTube, and it's quite
Yeah.
amazing. And there's one from the 1950s, and she's cooking French onion soup, which she puts a raw egg in for some reason.
Okay.
And they get some people up from the audience, and it's Eduardo Ross and his wife, who was a band leader.
Right.
And Johnny says to him, you have to, I can't do the accent, he's terribly, terribly posh. You have to do this, you can say one of two things, disgusting or delicious. And they sort of go, oh, it's delicious. Everybody's terribly, terribly BBC.
Yeah.
And she comes on in full ball gown and fur wrap,
Yeah.
and then proceeds to cook without getting this drop of stuff on her dress.
But we had seen them in the 1973 Christmas special of the Generation Game,
Yes.
which we reviewed
Yes.
in episode 14
Yes.
of Around the Archives for Bruce Forsyth, didn't we?
Yes.
But these are from a couple of years later.
Yes.
And she hasn't got her Johnny with her.
No, I think Johnny was unwell, so he has retired from the act.
So she's got an assistant, Sarah.
She gets various assistants, none of whom are allowed to speak,
No.
and all of whom look terrified.
But they're being a replacement Johnny, aren't
Yes.
they? Yeah, okay. So what ones have we seen
So we've
today?
seen Christmas cake,
Christmas cake.
Christmas pudding,
Yeah.
and petit foie, which are like eclairs and little buns,
Petit fours.
whatever. Petit foie.
Right, if you say so.
Yeah.
It's alright.
Is that doing you good?
It's starting to work, yeah. But she's got two... It's a fairly sparse set. She's got
Yes.
two ovens,
Two gas ovens,
a table,
gas cookers,
and a Christmas tree that she keeps on decorating.
every
at
week
the
she'll add a
start.
little bit more to the Christmas tree. We haven't seen the first episode edition, which is the turkey, because I saw a clip of it last week and it looked funny. Awful.
Because Warren's seen a few of these as well, hasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think you've seen the Christmas pudding in this one.
Because what's the one you say where she burns things to...
That's the petit four one, where she says you shouldn't take the choux. She calls it choux paste. She means like choux pastry.
Yeah.
So it's like eclairs and that sort of thing. And she said you shouldn't take it out in the oven when it's light, because it won't hold its shape. So she takes it out and it looks almost burnt. It's so dark. I mean, she's going to slather it in like an inch of icing anyway.
Yeah.
So, but it didn't look that appetising.
But
they're quite sort of big and lumpy and not that attractive looking.
Because you always say to me that I never have my toast done sort of enough, do I?
Your toast looks like a little baby dragon has come along and sneezed on it and going like, chew!
And it's done.
And run away. I like it a bit darker.
The trouble is our smoke alarm goes off if you do the toast too much. Because the smoke alarm's right over
it's right near the kitchen door
of the kitchen.
And we have watched an amusement in hotels many a time where people have... Because in a lot of hotels you get the conveyor toast thing where you put it in and it goes
and if you do it in once
and it comes back, it's not really
enough. And if you do it in twice, it burns and sets the thing off, especially if it gets stuck.
Yes, because we were in a hotel in Kent and the toast got stuck in the toaster, and the member of staff had to come across and try and get it out. So did you have a conversation at the toaster once with Terry Malloy?
I think that's where I first spoke to Terry Malloy. Yes.
Well, you're waiting for your toast to trundle back.
Yeah. But yeah, the Christmas cake was the first one, wasn't it?
Well, the first one we saw, yes.
Yeah. And she's chucking all the fruit in, isn't she? And she's really kneading it with her hands,
but she has got clean hands.
Yeah.
She hasn't got her rings on, because a lot of the time you'll see her do stuff and she's wearing these huge, great knuckle dusters.
Or nail varnish.
Yeah.
And what's her trick for like mixing stuff up? Think of somebody you don't like.
Think of somebody you don't like and you give it a good old bash. There's a lot of people she doesn't like.
And then she has to put all the sort of icing bit on it. It really is like sort of industrial scale.
Yeah, she sort of rolls the icing, rolls it in the icing. And it's actually, I think that's the almond paste, isn't it?
Yeah.
That she does that with.
Yeah. Marzipan, is that the word?
I guess, yeah.
But
there's a lot of talk. You can tell that this is the 70s and everybody's a little bit cash strapped, because she's continuously saying this isn't very expensive. You can get this, and you want one good cake a year, so you can splash out a bit on this one.
Because there's a booklet that's available with the series
for 50p.
50p. Well, that sounds like quite a lot for 1975 to me.
And she also says, because she says you should put rose water and orange flower water.
But you have to go to
the chemist. Now you can just go to the supermarket, to the bakery section, and buy all these things.
And you've got to get the culinary salt.
Yes, make sure you specify the culinary salt, because somebody did it and it was face conditioner or something.
And they wrote an angry letter in.
It tasted disgusting.
But yeah, the Christmas pudding is suitably
black.
Yeah, well, it certainly is. Yes. But she's got all the sort of cherries and all sorts in
breadcrumbs and beer.
Because are you that bothered about Christmas cake or Christmas pudding?
I don't like Christmas cake. I quite like Christmas cake.
Yeah.
I'm not that fussed about Christmas pudding, to be honest. Well, I'm sure we have one in the cupboard from last year.
We probably have. I haven't looked.
But I don't think we'll actually be having it after our Christmas lunch.
Yeah, because did you actually used to do the thing of putting a sixpence in?
No.
No.
Never.
Because
we never had Christmas pudding at home, and nobody really liked it sufficiently to have it.
All right.
My mum was.
So when did you have it, or didn't you at all?
I don't really remember having it much at home. I must have had it a bit. I had it when I came to yours.
Right.
And I had it out of politeness more than anything else. But I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily choose it, but it was all right.
Okay.
With squirty cream. At home, my dad, Christmas for me is blancmange, jelly and trifle. Right. That's what my dad had every year. And he'd have a bit of each in a bowl with evaporated cream.
Right. Well, Fanny has a go at trifle, doesn't she? Yeah. She's got all her
bits
of...
That's very colourful, isn't it?
She's got all her Swiss roll that she's cut up, and then she
slathers it in...
what's a mix of...
wine and orange juice.
Yeah. And the bits that are dry, she just sticks more wine on.
She sticks more wine on it and more orange juice. And then she's
not
She doesn't
says
like sherry.
She says she's not a fan of sherry, is she? Martha's looking at me. She's concerned. But yeah, do you think she is chucking the sort of alcohol about freely?
A little bit too much, yeah.
Yeah, because didn't Johnny used to come on with his glass of wine?
Yes, not now, Johnny.
Halfway
I think a
through.
lot of that was an act, though. They
Yeah.
had the act of the drunken major and the domineering wife. I'm not sure that's how it actually was. It probably was a bit in real life, but...
But yeah, and then the petit foie.
Petit foie. But what we should say about the truffle as well, she puts chocolate sauce on it, like melted chocolate.
Yeah.
Then she puts custard. Then she does love to pipe. There's a lot of her recipes, even if it's like a savoury recipe, it's got piped mashed potato on it. She loves her piping bag. And she pipes cream on it. Then she puts glacé cherries on it.
Of different
colours. Red ones, beige and green.
Beige.
And then she puts chocolate leaves on, which she's got... we didn't say about the holly either. What was about the holly?
Yeah. So
and she's got chocolate leaves that she gets leaves from a rose tree and puts chocolate on them and then sticks the chocolate leaves in it.
Yeah.
But the holly, she says about... Because she wants to make a round Christmas pudding like you see on Christmas cards.
Which she makes with a sieve.
Which she makes with a sieve.
With a bent handle.
With a bent handle, yeah. And then she says, if you see some holly on the side of the road or on your side...
Like roadkill holly.
Like roadkill holly. You save it and put it in an old potato and it keeps it for up to 3 weeks. You have to wash it as well. She doesn't say that.
Yeah, for the rose leaves, you've got to make sure that no birds have protested on it as well.
Yeah.
Which is a polite way of saying no bird doo-doos.
Yes.
But yeah, the petit fours, because she's got like 1/2-inch ones and 1-inch ones, which is like the end on her
the nozzle
on her piping bag.
Yeah.
And what was it? She said you can get them in France or something.
Yes, you can get them in France. You can't get them in this country, which you obviously can now. You can just go to the supermarket and buy eclairs, as she calls them at one point.
Because she does long ones and round ones, doesn't
short
she?
ones and one short one, one
long bun and one short bun.
Yeah.
Because isn't this the bit where she gets Sarah to get some out of the oven?
Yes, and is she wearing oven gloves when she gets them out of the oven?
Sarah's got them out of the oven with like either oven gloves or a cloth or something to imply that the tray's hot.
Yes.
And Fanny immediately moves the tray herself anyway, so it's not hot.
Either that, she's got asbestos hands.
Yeah. Because of course she's referring to things like gas Mark 8 and things like that. And I've never had a gas oven.
No.
We've always had electric because where I lived we never had a gas supply.
No.
That's the thing. So when you say gas Mark 8, that doesn't mean anything to me.
No, it's like gas Mark 8. They used to do it gas Mark 8 or 180, I think it is, something like that.
But from my science background, sort of 180 degrees C means something. Gas Mark 8, I don't know what the units are.
No.
It's not a temperature scale.
We had a gas cooker when I lived at home, and also the first gas cooker my parents, the first one I remember them having, it didn't have an igniter on it, so to light it you had to lean down in it with a match, and it would go
because when she's doing her stuff, she turns it up at one point and you can really hear it going.
Yeah. And what worries me as well, she's got I suppose it's like a Tupperware carton, really.
Plastic.
And it's like there, but then she's got big sort of whatever you call those things that you stand stuff on a gas oven. You can tell I don't do any cooking, can't you? A stand thing. So it's a bit thick, but I'm like, what happens if that melts? There's just stuff everywhere. There's tea towels on top of the grill, and it's just a real fire hazard. I can just imagine the fire marshal standing just off there with his big fire extinguisher just ready.
But I have to say that, compared to sort of the Festive Fanny page,
these are all quite normal.
There's nothing too horrendous here, is
that's because we didn't watch your Christmas bird one.
All right, what's the Christmas bird one?
They showed a clip of it. There was a programme on Channel 5 last week about Christmas things that go wrong, disasters. And she's got the turkey and she's sort of pulling the skin up. Then she puts her hand under it and puts like stuffing in it. And then she's got a goose and she's stabbing it with a foot. And again, imagine that person you don't like and she's stabbing it.
Okay.
And then she gets honey and slathers it all over the goose and then she puts her hand back in the honey after touching the goose.
Oh,
It's a real terrible cross-contamination of raw
oh
meat
dear,
and
no,
honey.
I don't like the sound of
She was
that.
like,
No, okay.
you know, literally now you would either have a glove on, or you would do that with one hand and touch it with the other hand. You wouldn't, or do it with a spoon.
She just got a bucket to wash her hands
Yes,
in at one point.
with cold water, presumably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are quite fun.
Yes, I specifically picked ones that weren't going to be too
Horrible.
horrible. Didn't want to put you off.
But yeah, there's still time to investigate them, aren't they? Because they're knocking around for a
they'll
little
be on
while
iPlayer.
yet. Yeah.
So, yes.
Anything else, or
No, I am waiting for a biography of Fanny Cradock, which
Right.
will tell me all her how many times she was married bigamously and all this sort of
so
thing.
you will learn more about Fanny's background then?
Yes.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
that wasn't actually her name.
No.
No, she was born Phyllis something. I think. I can't remember what it was now.
Well, you can't do so many jokes about Phyllis,
No,
can
it's
you?
not quite so funny, is it?
But yeah, if you'd like to sort of learn how to make cakes like Fanny's, then this is the the best thing to look at.
Donuts.
Donuts like
Donuts
Fanny's.
like Fanny's.
Is that the joke?
That's the joke.
Well, I didn't see her donuts.
No, I know, but that's the quote from Johnny. I don't quite know the exact quote, but it's something about if you'd like to make donuts like Fanny's.
Okay. We'll say goodnight.
Yes.
Bye bye.
Bye.